a black girl nerd.
Hey, we are back. Welcome to the Black Girl Nerds podcast live. And wow, it's been a minute, Ryan.
I know. Happy Friday, Junior. It's good to be back. Good to be talking with you. But look, I just need to get back to you because I want all the tea, all the gossip, because you were at the Star Wars celebration. How was that? You got to break it down for us.
Oh yeah, let's dive right into it, right? So yes, we've been gone for the last 2 weeks because I have been traveling, which I have not traveled in 2 years because of COVID.
That part, yeah. Start with that part. How was the plane, man?
Yeah. So it's so fun. It's like I don't travel for 2 years and then I go on 2 trips in 1 week. The plane situation was actually very easy. TSA, I'm like, y'all don't check IDs anymore.
Wow. Okay.
When I went to my airport, small airport in Norfolk, Virginia, ORF, all I had was my boarding pass, and they didn't even ask for my ID. I was like, okay. I was like, okay, do I need to take out my laptop? Like, I'm asking all these questions like it's the first time I've been a passenger. No, just keep your laptop in your bag. I was like, this is the easiest.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Hey.
Situation. So, not so much for LAX, which is where I flew in for Star Wars Celebration, leaving. But anyways, trip was very nice. But that aside, my travel situation, we're talking about Star Wars Celebration. So yeah, it was a lot of fun in Anaheim, Disneyland territory, right? Yeah. So a lot of folks were out there, obviously fans of Star Wars, but members of the press were out there, and we got a chance to see a lot of the previews of what's to come in the Disney Plus slate. And that was really exciting. And if you go to blackgirlnerds.com, you can see I did a quick write-up about what we saw at Star Wars, or what I saw at Star Wars Celebration. So they did a preview of Willow. They did a nice teaser trailer of Ashoka, which I know that is just going to blow everybody's minds for you Clone Wars fans out there. And did I say Andor? Andor. So Diego Luna's coming back for that.
Wait. We got to go back real quick, Jamie. You got to talk about the surprise when Rosario Dawson came out on stage, because I saw when you posted that. You got to talk about how you felt, how the audience was acting when she came out on stage.
It's funny. I had some intel, and I knew that Rosario Dawson was coming before, everybody else did.
Cool. Okay.
But yeah, it was. Yeah, people were screaming. It was, and that's why I was like, let me put this up on YouTube just so people can see the fanfare around Rosario Dawson, because Rosario Dawson was like basically kind of fan casted into this role. Like people were really advocating for her to be Ashoka, and now here she is. And obviously we saw her in Mandalorian make that appearance. So yeah, people were excited, thrilled to see. I forgot the actress name that's playing Sabine, but she was there. And they did do a nice tease of Mandalorian. So the new season of that is going to be coming out next year. So just really exciting things coming down the pipeline for Star Wars. And then there's also new projects. There's Skeleton Crew, and that's a new series starring Jude Law, and it's supposed to be kind of it's centered around a group of kids, and the way it was described by the producers and filmmakers, it's giving me like a lot of Stranger Things kind of ET vibes.
Yeah.
So I'm really I like shows that are centered around like kids, and they've got to figure out, the supernatural phenomenon that's around them. So yeah, it was a really exciting time. And then we went to Disneyland and did the Rise of Resistance ride over there, which that's actually, I've been on it before when it the park first opened. So it was fun to go back, and that's always a fun experience, and getting a chance to be on the Millennium Falcon. So it was a blast. I highly encourage, if you have the opportunity to go to Star Wars Celebration, especially if you are in fact a Star Wars fan, please go. It's you will definitely enjoy every single bit of it. And of course, people out there cosplaying, they were killing it with costumes. They were just slaughtering.
It's on my list to go to Disneyland because I want to check out the Marvel part of it all. But because I saw you took a picture with T'Challa, and I was like, oh my gosh.
So that was Cat. So we did
Cat. Okay, cool. Cat.
Yeah. BGN did double duty that week. So I was there for Star Wars Celebration, and Kat was there for Celebrate Soulfully. And she got a chance to visit the Marvel Avengers Park, which I have not had a chance to see yet.
Yeah, that's on my list of things I want to do. Yeah, that's cool.
Me too. So you can see her stories on Black Girl Nerds. Yeah. Because I definitely want to visit the Avengers Park. They would not let us in Avengers Park. You know, we only had access to Galaxy Edge.
They still keeping the secrets. You know, Marvel got to keep it locked down. You know, certain rules. Still keeping the secrets. You know how it goes. But I'm gonna just go skip my Celebrate Soulfully. Then, like, I need to shoot Kat a couple messages here, ask her about this food because she posted a lot of food pics. So I got to talk to her about this food.
Yeah, seriously. And by the way, you know, just quick plug, guys that are tuning in. Thank you, first of all, for tuning in live. We really appreciate you. We want to give you our flowers for subscribing, for supporting. And if there's someone that you know that do not know that this show airs live on Thursdays, tell a friend, let them know. And
text them right now.
Yeah, text them right now, and tell them to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and that way they know that each episode they'll get that information and get their geek life in order, which is absolutely fantastic.
Keep the geek life in order, spoken like a true Black girl nerd.
Absolutely. So that was the first trip, and then the second trip was Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
And I had a chance to go out there for the Austin TV Festival, which I actually had never heard of prior to getting, I guess, the invite, which really first went to you, Ryanne, for an opportunity to go and moderate a panel for Tom Swift. So and
killed it, by the way. You guys better check out these pictures on Black Girl Nerds. Go check it out and look at it. It's so cool. And they're so cute. You guys, this cast is so like Jamie getting the smiles on and looking cute, and the cast is cute and the fashion is cute. So go check it out, you guys.
Please do. Tom Swift is such a great show. I remember, if you go on blackgirlnerds.com, there's a review of the pilot. Please check that out if you haven't done so already. Episode 2 aired this past week. I'm really excited about just this show in general. And the cast, they're just so great. They're so sweet. And Tian Richards is a gem. Tian Richards plays Tom Swift, the titular character on the show. And he's just got this very, Southern gentleman hospitality kind of character. He opens doors, I
love it.
He says, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Thank you. He offered to pay for my meal. I'm like, no, that's okay. I appreciate like that. He's that kind of guy. Because we went out to Torchy's and had tacos and it was
nice. It's cool. Yeah.
It was a great experience. And I was concerned because I've been a little rusty at moderating panels. I haven't moderated a panel in years, so I was concerned. But CW people said they were happy. The Tom Swift cast said they were happy.
Nailed it.
I'm going to take everybody's word that they were okay with how I did. And again, I encourage you guys, check out Tom Swift. It airs on Tuesdays at, I don't remember the times, but check your
I stopped trying to guess on CW, but get your CW app. That's how I really stay up to date on all the CW shows I watch, because sometimes the times is like a little different. Sometimes they change the days they want to do. So yeah, get the CW app and you'll stay with it. Because they've been like, I watch my fair shows on CW. They've been putting the fans through it lately. But you guys, this is pretty cool. And I'm feeling different about this one because the drama is there, and CW knows how to do drama. They do know how to do. I will give them that credit. They know how to do drama.
They
so
do.
it's some good family drama in this one. And you know, it's like being a superhero, but not really superhero element. So I think it's like it's trying all the new stuff they haven't done yet when it comes to like an all black cast on a CW show. So it's interesting.
It's and one of the questions I made sure to ask at the panel is, you know, obviously a lot of these shows that we see have black casts, but the writer's room is not. And I made sure to ask. I was like, what does the writer's room look like at Tom Swift? And the producers were like, it looks like the people on the show. So that was that was good to know that, you know, that we're in those writers' rooms, because that was an important conversation we brought up with Jade Hendricks, our last guest, about, you know, Batwoman. So just you know, it makes a difference. So, and plus this is a show, and happy Pride Month to everybody out there. Because this is the perfect show, by the way, for Pride Month. But it is a show about a black gay billionaire, and they're going into uncharted territory with developing this character. Tom Swift, of course, is a character that is very well known. It's based off of a series of books from the Nancy Drew universe as well. But this Tom Swift is completely different from the books. So if you are going in thinking that it's going to be some parallels, some similarities, don't. I think they're only similar in name only, and just they're inspired by the books. But yeah, it's a completely different take on the novels. So
he does such a great job. It's so cool, you guys, to watch it, to see it. And like you said, going in, because I'm telling you, I was already hesitant. I was nervous to watch it because I've been put through the ringer. Like, it was Black Lightning, it was Batwoman, and I was like, I can't do it, because if I love the show and they do something else again, I can't do it. So, but it was cool, you guys, to see. Like I said, they're trying like all the elements. I love how they're bringing like Happy Primer, like Jamie was saying. I love how they're bringing that off the top of the show, because usually with some of these black cast shows, they kind of like ease it in, like they don't really want to tell you, and you kind of have to find out later, and then they might cancel the show. You know, like something happens, you don't get to see what happens. So I love how it's off the top. He's not hiding it. You know, it's very much a part of who he is. So I love that for people that get to see that. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm loving the wardrobes on the show. I mean, there's so much great swagger.
Amazing.
And the shoes are everything. So I just really want to quickly just share a couple of photos. So this is me at Star Wars Celebration.
I like it. Is that a Darth Vader shirt, or who's I see some stormtroopers.
It's just Star Wars shirt with Darth Vader and some of the legacy characters.
Yeah, got the Mando behind you. I like it.
Yeah. The Mandalorian experience was lit. So they had a whole bunch. And by the way, you can go on Black Girl Nerd's YouTube channel. I went ahead and just took my phone and just took footage and just threw it up on YouTube. So if you want to see what that looked like, you can go there and check it out. But it was a really cool experience. And then Jon Favreau just randomly walks in there. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Jon Favreau is like Michael Jackson now to fans. Like they were going crazy over him. So yeah, that was me there. And then this is a photo of me with the cast and the crew.
Yeah, look at that fly cast. Look at Jamie. Look at Jamie cheesing it up. She got the Black Girl Nerd swag on it. I love it.
Yeah. So they're just such a great cast. April Parker Jones, Albert Wongi, Noga Landau, there's Ashley Murray, then myself, Melinda Sue Taylor, Tian Richards sitting there, Cameron Johnson, who's one of the producers, and Marquise Vilson. I hope I said his last name right. I did not pronounce his last name right, and he made sure to correct me on it. He's like, it's not Vilson, it's Vilson.
Well, listen, you convinced me. I mean, we'll have to check it out later, but you convinced me. And look, I told you I was going to mention too. Can we talk about how Ashley Murray is like, I don't know what kind of contract she has for CW, but girl stays booked, and I love it. Like every time I turn around,
busy.
She's on something, like in the fashion, like never stops. Like I just, it's just like amazing. Like I don't know where they taking notes at, or like you guys can sit down and talk to her, up and coming like people on CW, because she keeps them moving.
Yeah, she is absolutely amazing. And I want to know, you guys that are watching, let us know in the comments. Have you seen Tom Swift on CW?
Yes, have you
what
seen
are your thoughts? Let us know. What's
your favorite invention, your favorite wardrobe, all that stuff. Let us know.
How do you feel about the show so far? Feel free to be as honest as you want with your opinions. This is a safe space.
Did you guys see Rex and Jamie Foxx fans back in the day? Was on there. So yeah, check it out.
There you go. Let us know how you feel about Tom Swift on CW. So this show, we're really going to be heavy into recapping Obi-Wan Kenobi because it's all about Obi-Wan. But we are going to talk about a little bit of hot topics, not going to be as much as our previous shows. And we're going to slip
We ain't got time, y'all. It's about Obi-Wan. We ain't got time. But we are going to insert a little bit of a hot topic that's related to Obi-Wan in there. So, one of the hot topics this week, this could be good news or bad news. Depending on how you see it. Depending on how you see it. I mean, so obviously, I'm not going to assume that you guys know, but Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey. Lori Harvey, by the way, is the daughter of Steve Harvey. Have broken up. They were dating. I want to say for like 2 years. I think because I had I'm gonna go with.
They were together for a minute.
Oh yeah, 2020. Yeah, so yeah, you're right.
Okay, 2 years. So they were together, and honestly, like there were people were speculating, is this like a real relationship?
Right.
Is it for the press and PR? I felt like they actually may have been in it for real. And 2 years for a relationship in Hollywood these days is that's kind of a long time, especially for people around their age,
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I don't know how I feel really. I think I was kind of surprised when it happened because I always see Michael B. Jordan as that, like, eventually I'm sure he's going to settle down, have kids and all that kind of stuff. But he just always seems like he's just going to be that guy that's just like, I don't know, like that friend to like the women, and he just kind of goes about his own path. And you like one day you're thinking he's going to get married, but when he was like in the relationship, I was like, is he really? And, not just because he's just fine and everybody wants to date him anyway, but I just don't see him. Like when it happened, I was just like, what? Like he's in a relationship now, really? Like it's going. I was like, okay. But and they like when they hit that 2 year mark, like Jamie said, I was convinced. I was like, man, this gotta be like the real deal. You saw like Steve Harvey like giving his comments and stuff on everything, and they were getting dressed up and everything for red carpets and, giving each other shout outs on IG. So yeah, I thought it was like I thought they was like in it for the long haul. It was a real deal, but I don't know. And then there's like all the headlines now where like they, like they're heartbroken and they still love each other. So you like, what's the rest of the tea? Like what really happened? So yeah.
I mean, first of all, Angelica, who is our social media person at Black Girl Nerds, I know she's jumping up and down with excitement because that's her man. That is her man right there.
Well, there you go, Angelica. Your man is available.
She's like,
he's available.
He's free. I don't know. Here's the thing. There's a lot of speculation, obviously, out there because none of them have spoke publicly about the breakup yet, but they're saying that the reason for the breakup is that it was Michael who wanted to settle down. He's older than Lori. Lori's in her 20s.
Yeah, and, that's what I read. She's in her 20s, yeah.
Yeah, and Michael's like in his like mid to late 30s. So he's at an age where I think he's ready to, settle down and be with the one. And the rumor is that he proposed and she said no.
Okay, well, that'll do it.
That's what led to the breakup. I mean, again, this is all rumors and speculation. I don't know. Yeah. There are reports saying that she was the one that initiated the breakup. But I mean, I guess the question I have for you guys is, do you think Michael B. Jordan is the settle down type? Because even though he is at an age where I guess traditionally, it's time to settle down. He's young. I mean, he's rich. He's very handsome. Is he ready to settle down? I mean, look at people like George Clooney. My man
I
didn't
was
settle
getting ready
down.
to say he reminds me. I get ready to say he reminds me of like a George Clooney because we never thought George Clooney was gonna find anybody and have like the whole family life, and now he's just like, he's comfortable and then he does like a movie every now and again. He's like, okay, let me make an appearance, but he's just like home being a dad, being a husband, just chilling out, loving life. But that's how I kind of see. I think that's kind of how I see Michael B. Jordan. I don't know why, but it's just like he gives me that vibe of like you won't really know. Like he'll just pop up one time and he'll be married, like the whole George Clooney thing. He'll be married, they'll start having a family. Angelica might be sad. Maybe she could make some moves. He's available now, so we'll see. But I always saw him as like a George Clooney type. I don't know why. Like I don't know what gives me that vibe, but I always see him as like he's gonna be there. Eventually he'll get married.
We'll see what happens. I just, I'm wishing the best for both of them. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Lori Harvey's status has moved up a notch by, being in a relationship with a high profile actor. So I hope that we see more of her just doing her own stuff instead of knowing her in relation to Michael B. Jordan. Is
and like other relationships they've known her to be into. They kind of focus a lot on her dating life, but I'm sure it's going to be exciting for her to like do her own stuff.
Yeah,
not have somebody always point that out about her.
Exactly, because I think she came out like with a skincare line now, and so she's an entrepreneur. She's doing her own thing, and I hope that people know her for that and not being known for Michael B. Jordan's girlfriend, which at this point, that's no longer going to be the case.
Right, seriously, and they're both like smart business people. They know the moves they're going to make, so they'll both be fine. I mean, we can be sad a little bit because like, divorce, except for Angelica, but and then it's just but
Michael B. Jordan's a little too young for me, so but I mean, he is fine. I mean, I've met him a couple of times. He is definitely an attractive man.
So he'll be both of them be fine. I mean, it's not like they're not gonna find anybody else ever in life. They'll be fine, and everything. But we'll see I don't know, we'll see how long people keep this gossip train going of what exactly happened instead of just letting them keep it pushing, but we'll see what goes down.
We'll see what goes down. Yeah. So that is pretty much it of our hot topics. And then the other hot topic we have is in relation to Star Wars. And then we're going to go ahead and get into our recaps, which is really the meat and potatoes of this episode. So we're obviously reporting this now because we've been away for 2 weeks, and this is sort of an old story, but again, this is very relevant to our episode. This is relevant to the conversations that we're going to be having. Right. So actress Moses Ingram, which by the way, I decided to write an op-ed about what was going on, but she recently dealt with racist attacks from Star Wars fans. Here we go again. It's like that video game meme of the dude walking. He's like, here we go again. Like, why is this still a thing that's happening in the fandom where people feel the need to just be nasty and mean? And she went on Instagram and shared screenshots and just expressed her, disappointment in the attacks that were being made against her. So that's how everybody found out about it. And then what happened is Star Wars actually, which I think is unprecedented, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it before. I haven't seen like cast and the higher ups actually say anything before.
Yeah, the Twitter account actually tweeted out saying that, we don't tolerate that. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. You can always go to Star Wars Twitter and read it, but they were not here for these racist, toxic fans. And then Ewan McGregor put out a video saying, stop it, and you're no real Star Wars fan if you're treating her that way, which, hello, thank you.
Right. I love that he did that. Yeah. Shout out. Yeah, that's great.
Shout out to Ewan McGregor for that. I mean, like they don't have to do that. As actors, he could just sit there, take his check, and keep on moving. Like, I ain't a part of this conversation, but the fact that he did that, I have so much respect for him now.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So yeah, and it's just, oh man, it just makes me so angry. It makes me so angry because Kelly Marie Tran went through this. to the point where she just got off of social media altogether. John Boyega went through this, you know, and it's just Ahmed Best. Let's go a little bit further back. Remember the hate that he was getting? Ahmed Best played Jar Jar Binks. I mean, say what you want about the character. I mean, I've got my criticisms of Jar Jar Binks myself, but don't go after the actors. So it's just so disappointing, and it taints the fandom. It taints what Star Wars is supposed to represent, which is, you know, a place where we all go to just be entertained in this fantastical world that we're just supposed to, you know, get away when we're trying to get away from the realities of the real terrible things that are happening in this world, which is just awful. We go to Star Wars to just, you know, sort of get away from all of that and just submerge ourselves in this great fandom that we love, and then to get this real life toxicity, you know, blended in with that is just it makes me angry. Nikki Johnson Jackson says the clears are so crazy. They have to be centered in everything. It's so predictable. Go over it. I'm over it. I think too, and I said this in my article, I think they gave themselves away because our third sister is going to have a very prominent, prolific role in this series. I mean, we only have 2 episodes left, and we're going to talk more about it. But I feel like she is someone who is very authoritative. She administers executive decisions. She defies her own, you know, the authority within her regime, within the Inquisitors. And that, I think people find that to be a threat.
Oh yeah, and she literally is dangerous. She literally is dangerous. You know, if given like in a tight space with her, you know, you literally are gonna be fighting for your life because she's just that hardcore. And I think that, like, you know, like Jamie said, Nikki pointed out in her comments, it's when you start seeing all that hate, something's happening. Every time people see change or something like that, that feels like a threat to them, they're like, oh, let's go after it, let's attack it. But I love how the Star Wars, you know, the other fans that are not like that, the Star Wars executives, the actors, the crew are like, no, we ain't going for that. Nope. She's here. She's part of the series. You watch it, you know, you get what you get. You know, you're gonna watch it or you're not gonna watch it, but we're not taking the hate that's gonna go, you know, online. Like, it's not gonna go down like that. And I remember, and like Jamie mentioned too, when she made her comments online, she was like, you know, this feeling that she has to shut up and take it. Cause, you know, sometimes that's what we're taught. You know, that's what they're taught in this industry, like some with these actors trying to get into these different supernatural worlds and superhero worlds. And, you know, when I did the recap for episode 1 and 2, I talked about how it frustrates me to be a fan in the supernatural world, in the superhero world, in the sci-fi world. And I'm sitting there watching people that 99% of the time don't look like me. But I'm like buying all the merch. I'm getting into everything. Right. I'm into the character. I'm into the plot. And it's like, as soon as you get somebody that looks like you, as soon as you get somebody that's different, oh, now you have something to say. But I'm sitting here the whole time watching the whole fandom, you know, like getting into the fandom, watching Star Wars, you know, letting the plot, letting the characters speak for themselves, letting the actors do their job. And, you know, I'm buying into it. So what is the problem when somebody looks like me? Is always my issue that comes back. You know what? Like, what is the problem with that? Because you know what? You're taking our dollars too. Let's just be real. Like, when we watching, there's not only a certain type of fandom for this world, that, you know, that, you know, like I always give Jamie a shout out for that, for creating the space, you know, for that. So there's a way to put that out there. But I mean, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to be on that side of it. And it's like, you taking our money too for this. So we need a representation. So don't come back. Like, when you have somebody like the third sister who is killing it, Moses is killing it. She is playing this role. So what else do you have against her besides you just don't want to see a black woman do that?
And also, by the way, like, I had some like people that were trying to be all, well, I'm not racist, but I have issues with the third sister's character because, you know, the actress, Moses Ingram, her acting really isn't that great. So that's just my issue. It's not really racist. And I'm like, hold up. Okay, if we're going to talk about actors in the Star Wars universe, are we really going to talk about performances? Because we need to go back in time a little bit.
Yeah.
I need y'all to take your history lesson and go watch A New Hope.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Go
Give
watch
that
Harrison
timeline.
Ford's performance.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Ford, who we all know and love, right? Han Solo, has been in countless movies since then and is revered as one of the greatest actors, I think, of our time.
Right.
But
Yeah.
back
Absolutely.
then,
Yeah.
in 1977, in A New Hope, that acting was cringeworthy.
Yeah.
Some of
People
the
still talk
worst
about it. Yeah.
acting I've seen. Yeah. So don't come at me with this whole, well, her performance is stilted and she's, not that great. I mean, she graduated from the Yale School of Drama. I mean,
Exactly.
as far as I'm concerned, I think she's a great performer. And to base her performance and her role off of just a few episodes, to me, is just disingenuous. And like, just be honest that you have issues beyond her acting. I mean,
exactly.
Hayden Christensen, that's another one.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Look at that performance in those prequels. So yeah, stop that. Stop that.
Yeah, they're trying to cover it up, and it's like it's a little bit too late for that. Like we in that atmosphere where it's like we can see it. We like you at home now to COVID, so everybody watching the streaming services, they come out like 6 episodes. So yeah, that stuff hits quick. So yeah, you can't sugarcoat what you're trying to cover up. We know what's going down.
Yes. I just wanted to read Karina's comment really quick. She had said, that's so sad that within nerd culture, there's still racism. Reminds me of that meme with Static Shock and the Green Lanterns. I did not see that meme, so I don't even know if I want to know what that is, but
no, you don't.
Yeah, it's, I know, it's sad. It really is sad. Nikki Jackson says it's not just Star Wars either. Star Trek Discovery comments or something else. It's beyond disturbing. All the seasons, the lead actress, Sonequa Martin Green, catches hell. Yeah, I heard about that.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, it's... Y'all got to get used to it. This is the new normal. You're going to see more of us in leading roles, taking charge, making executive decisions. There is not going to be what you thought that, sci-fi used to be, with the whole white savior complex and all of that. That's not what fans want to see anymore. So you toxic fans got to get over yourselves. And to be fair to Star Wars fandom and, some of these other fandoms, it's a very small subset of people. It's not like it represents the fandom at large. Right. Because when I was at Star Wars Celebration, people were going crazy over Moses in those scenes. Like, because I was in an arena at the convention center and we watched the first 2 episodes, and every scene she was in, the fanfare in the audience was just palpable. Like, people were going wild. So people in real life are happy and they're advocating and they're cheerleading for the third sister. They're loving it. It's these people that are in their mom's basement that are keyboard warriors that, have no lives or whatever and are alleged fans that apparently have this issue. Corlin Evans says, and it's been the best Star Trek the last 15 years, talking about Star Trek Discovery. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
She's the reason the card got launched, and they're doing A Strange New World, which ties directly into Star Trek. Oh, okay. A lot of Star Trek conversation. Yes. Mamodi, I apologize. I'm not pronouncing your name right. Everyone needs to judge shows on their merits and demerits and not on color, gender, or race.
Thank you. Yep. Say it for the people in the back.
And Karina, do you think the same process that happened with Batwoman will happen here again? I feel like there's a trend where we attack Black female leads in sci-fi superhero or supernatural realm. Initially, it's welcomed with so much hatred, and then eventually people accept it, and then it gets canceled, or the character gets recast. I honestly don't think this situation with Star Wars is going to be what happened with Batwoman, because number one, Star Wars is standing behind Moses, which tells me that she's got a bigger role than we think she does.
Oh yeah.
So they're like, no, we're in this for the long haul. And it's the Star Wars universe. That's a universe that is not going to, number one, get canceled, and also they're definitely not going to recast Moses. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because again, it's unprecedented to even see them speak out this way. Usually studios are very quiet about that. Go ahead, Ryan.
And no, you're good. The word around the galaxy, like, it's all rumors and you guys go down the rabbit hole like I did, but apparently they're trying to work on a spinoff for Reva for the third sister, for Moses' character, like for her to be the star of that. So I think they're working on something that we have no idea, like, this super machine that is Star Wars. I think they're working on something, and they're like, yeah, you guys, those few bad apples out there that's like trying to come forward and think they're gonna do something about it. They're like, nah, this train already left the station, so you might as well go ahead and hop on and get ready for it.
I have so many theories about the third sister, so we need to get to these recaps because
I
have some theories about her. The majority of Star Wars won't allow this to happen. Absolutely, they're not going to let it happen. We will see way more of the third sister than you will know. So then let's go ahead and dive into episode 3. By the way, if you guys have not seen our recaps of episodes 1 and 2, Ryan did a great job of doing that, so check that out on the channel. So episode 3 recap. You want to start in on this, Ryan, and then I'll go ahead and chime in with you.
Yeah, so we start this off with, I had to get my little notes here going because it was like so much going on in these episodes, and we only got like 6 of them, which is gonna kill me. Like, we try to get all this stuff in these episodes.
I know, I'm so mad.
Like, yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I'm like, no, give us more. Don't do this. But anyway, all right. So we see Leia, the little baby Leia. You guys, she's so cute. I love it. I love having her in this series. But she's been kidnapped by the third sister. She's making power moves. And the Grand Inquisitor didn't know about it. So we kind of get that recap of everything like that. And then we kind of open the episode with Obi-Wan also asking for his master's help, and we get this kind of like this assembly of like Anakin, aka the Vader, Darth Vader, back in the scene, and he's kind of getting assembled and everything, getting the robot pieces, however you want to call it, getting assembled and everything. He's coming back, and it's like the music going, and you got Obi-Wan trying to like, it's like he's meditating, trying to call on his master, trying to call on the Force, trying to get himself together, and you got these two powerful forces to open up this episode. And like the recap, like I said, was about Leia, getting free from her kidnapper, from being kidnapped by the third sister, because the third sister don't play. We're gonna go to Jamie on the deets like that, as we continue to kind of break her story apart. And she ain't having nothing from the Grand Inquisitor. It's all her game. It's all her show to get to Obi-Wan. So we just along for the ride. It's like her world. We just little squirrels in her world of trying to get Obi-Wan. But yeah, so we were kind of at that moment. And I love this cute moment we have with Leia and Obi-Wan, where she's like, well, how do you, like, what's the Force? Like, how do you know you can feel the Force and everything? And he's like, that period where you feel afraid. And he was like, and then you turn on a light, like you're in a dark room and you feel afraid and you turn on a light. That's how the Force feels. And I thought that was such a cool moment with the two of them. I thought it was such a cute moment of how he described, like, because you think about people talking about use the Force, like they throw around the Force so much, but to have
and
that,
have
like,
you noticed that as each episode progresses, that his powers, him being Force sensitive is getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? Yeah,
I did notice that. That's so cool. And it's like you root because it's Obi-Wan, so he's got it, and you like, they like kind of do it a little bit,
getting his groove back.
Yeah, it's like what they did with Yoda when he kept like passing out, like he would use the Force a little bit, and then he was out. And you like, come on now, come on, like he's gonna pull through this. And so Obi-Wan is doing the same thing. Like he's getting a little bit, like, as we go through the episodes, he's getting a little bit more like, gangster with it. You know what I mean? Like he's using the Force a little bit.
A little gangster
like
with
little baby.
It's
like a little baby. Like he'll move a little something like this. He saved Leia that time. Yeah. But like we're waiting for the big moment because we know it's coming. He keeps practicing and he's waiting on it, but we know it's coming because he's been hanging out. He's been retired.
But he uses the Force in the right moments. Like he used the Force in the first episode with saving Leia's life. Yeah. There's some really great dramatic moments when he uses the Force, which is great because it just goes to show that Obi-Wan he's back in his groove again. And I'm really excited to see where his journey goes. Where do you guys, by the way, where do you think things are going with Obi-Wan's journey so far in episode 3? One of the things that I really loved in episode 3, where I just like the fangirl in me screamed, was hearing James Earl Jones's voice as Darth Vader. I'm like, this man is like almost 100 years old. and he is killing it still.
Yeah.
He is killing it still.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got like chills. I mean, obviously I got chills when like we obviously saw the helmet, you know, cover
Like everything
Anakin's
coming
face,
together. Crazy.
and then you hear the breathing, you know. I was like,
you're like,
oh my
God. So Obi-Wan, is the Force back yet? Or, you know, how we looking with that?
Nadia agrees. Tell me I'm not the only one who did the happy dance when you heard James Earl Jones' voice.
That's
When
dope.
Vader spoke, I was screaming, hollering, happy when I heard it. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely.
He's got to be the GOAT of voiceovers, because you wait for that voice on like everything. Like he's the best. He's the best. It's so cool they did that.
How Obi-Wan got his groove back. Yeah, that should be like some fan fiction.
I can definitely see somebody doing that.
And obviously a great duel that happens in episode 3 between Obi-Wan and, which by the way, he doesn't want to be called Obi-Wan. He wants to be called Ben.
I forgot. Episode. Yeah, we're supposed to stick to Ben. We're supposed to stick to Ben, you guys. Yep,
yeah. Ben. Yeah. He meets Tala, who the actress, gosh, I forget her name, but the actress that plays Tala used to be in Game of Thrones. Do you remember?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Indira Varma. I'm not
okay. Indira Varma. Yeah. So yeah, she introduces herself and she calls him Obi-Wan, and then he's like, I just go by Ben.
Like, Ben.
Just call me Ben, bro.
No. Yeah, he's like, don't be giving away my secrets. No, it's Ben. It's Ben. Don't be telling everybody.
Yeah. But there's this great duel that happens between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. Yeah. And we see them fight with their lightsabers. And it's great because for me, I'm an 80s baby. I grew up on Star Wars. I grew up on the old movies. Yeah. So seeing those lightsaber fights are obviously very exciting. But then I also like the fact that the scene kind of harkened back to the prequels, because we see Darth Vader, we think, kills Obi-Wan in this fire, right? And it kind of resembles the lake of fire that we see happen to Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, which is how Anakin is basically got 90 third degree burns 90% of his body, right?
Yeah, he big mad. He don't play with Ben.
Yeah, so it was interesting that they kind of did a turn on that and had Obi-Wan be the one that, you know, gets burned up, and then he ends up having to get dipped into the Bacta tank to get his burn wounds healed. So I liked that. I was just like, okay, shout out to Revenge of the Sith in that moment. Okay, feeling that.
Oh, and also shout out to Tala. Sorry, I would interrupt you, Jamie. There,
go ahead.
But her, I like the whole like underground way they're getting the Jedi out of these different areas. I thought that was so cool how they introduced that. How she was kind of part of that, of like getting them out, and you can see like people carving like little things on there, and shout outs to like, you know, like James talk about a lot of the prequels and stuff like that. I'm sure it's a lot of Easter eggs and stuff that was in that scene that I was just like, ooh, I gotta go back to the prequels and check it out and see what's going down. But
the prequels will definitely help build context over, especially the relationship between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, which is very contemptuous. You know, they both have this deep contempt for one another. Well, the contempt mostly comes from Anakin, but you understand why Anakin hates him so much, and so I would highly encourage those of you that are watching that if you have not seen the prequels, which obviously there's been criticism of how good they are or how bad they are, but still the prequels at least give you story context and character development context into the origin story of Anakin, because it starts from when he's a kid in Phantom Menace, when he's a teenager in Attack of the Clones, and then in Revenge of the Sith is when he becomes Darth Vader. And he's manipulated and kind of a lot of it is bred from the loss of his mom and the loss of his wife. So yeah, he's got some demons that he's dealing with, and it's a lot of misdirected hate and anger. Nadia Nicole says, I truly think Ben will be back to Obi-Wan status once he gets to the end of the journey. What I want to know is how they're going to tie this into A New Hope. Okay, so that's interesting because there is some hearkening also to A New Hope. I'll talk about that a little bit later. It happens in episode 4.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm curious too to see how that all goes into A New Hope, because the timeline and the story elements are slowly lining up, because this is now we're getting into Leia's backstory and origin story, if you will. And we're kind of learning how she becomes who she becomes throughout this narrative of her interaction with Obi-Wan, because we know a lot about Obi-Wan's interaction with Luke, mostly as an adult, from A New Hope and from the earlier Star Wars films, but now we're learning about it with Leia, which is really cool. So anything else about episode 3 before we move on to the episode 4 recap?
No, we do get and I know you're kind of touch on the third sister a little bit later on. I'll kind of let Jamie to kind of break that down and give us, but she did have a cool scene with Darth Vader, where you kind of get to see like how she's kind of really working the scenes. Like the other Inquisitors are just there to kind of be her posse, so to speak, be her sidekick, so to speak, because she's running this show talking with Darth Vader. Like, she has this thing going with him. Like, she's set on finding Obi-Wan for him. And I thought that was such an interesting scene where we get to really see her have that control and where exactly these orders are coming from and what's going down with that. So I thought that was an interesting scene.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that, first of all, shout out to the great tension and also another contentious relationship. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right, but whatever. But the awkward dynamic that is happening between the third sister and the fifth brother. Sung Kang. Am I saying his name right?
You're right. That's
you
right.
interviewed him, by the way.
Oh yeah, shout out Fast and Furious. You guys, all I know is I saw Han, and I was like, I'm in. You guys watching the whole series now. Thank you. You didn't have to convince me. It's great. All right, you're watching the whole series now. Don't even worry about it.
I love how much he hates her. He has his own contempt for her. He feels disrespected because she's sort of like breaking rules and breaking hierarchies and going over executive power, so to speak, as far as rank goes. So the tension between the two of them is so fascinating to me. But
he's so mad all the time.
He's so mad, and I love his performance in this too. His cadence is brilliant. So So my thing with our third sister is I think she wants to become a Sith Lord. I think that her.
Now I like that. That's cool.
I think that is her ultimate. I mean, obviously she's working to become Grand Inquisitor, and we get that information in this episode. Darth Vader confirms, okay, you will become Grand Inquisitor if you do this, thing or whatever. I'm paraphrasing. But I think she wants to go beyond that.
I like that, Jamie.
She's got her sights set really, really high, and I feel like she's someone that would even take out Darth Vader if the opportunity presented itself. Like she's on a whole different level. Reva. So that's what I think. As for it happening, I don't know, but I think that's where her motives lie. I think there's also some motives, and I mentioned this in my article. I think that there may be some history between her and Obi-Wan. That very first episode and that very first scene with the kids at the Order 66, that little black girl, I think that was her. I think she was a former Jedi. I think maybe there was a relationship that she had with Obi, and Obi abandoned her, and she mad.
She big mad. She coming after him. Like this, you gave this third sister a lightsaber, and she got some Darth Vader behind her. Boy, you better watch out.
And it's the same kind of motivation that Anakin has for Obi-Wan. They both feel abandoned. They both feel betrayed by their mentor. So they kind of have the same motives.
Yeah.
It's just like, who's going to get there first?
Yeah, and she reveals in the 4th episode, she says, like, when I was a kid, everything was taken away from me. And so you like, wait, whoa, hold up. Reverse that a little bit. Like what exactly was happening when you were a kid? Like what happened? So it's like they keep dropping, this is what, Jamie has alluded to. This is what we're talking about the storyline and how well Moses is playing his character. They keep giving you these little tidbits that you'll miss if you're not paying attention. If you're looking at something else, they'll keep dropping these lines and everything. You're like, wait, what did she just say? Like what happened? Because you're so fixated on like when she's in the scene, when she's in that moment, it's, she's going for blood. She's on that revenge train right now. Something hurt her and she's like, I'm one track mind. And so you miss some of the stuff that she drops or when her character changes up a little bit.
Exactly. And I just look forward to seeing how this develops because it could go either way. Maybe there might be a redeeming arc to her. But I don't know. I at first I was thinking maybe she might, become good again because I do believe that she used to be a Jedi. I do believe that.
Yeah. I second that, yeah.
But then Anakin used to be, So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all pans out. Now I'm sort of leaning towards I want her to be a Sith Lord.
Yeah, I like this is an interesting point you bring up too, though, real quick. Like, and I don't know how people feel in the comments about this. I like this, like, because you could like, I won't go into the whole like Doctor Strange of it all. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it kind of happened in a similar situation there. But just this idea of like how bad is too bad for a character. Like, if you're used to them being one way, can you let this character go down this path? Of this revenge past, of being of the Sith, of being, using like the dark force or whatever. And is it like okay in a sense? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, do we want to see this character redeemed eventually? Like, do we need that? Or is it just so many dynamics and layers to her that we want to see this continue to play out? I'm always curious, like, how people feel about that.
I mean, it's kind of broken down in Revenge of the Sith. Like, Anakin uses the dark force actually thinking it's for good purposes because Palpatine manipulates him to believe that by using the dark force that you'll be able to save and protect people that you love because he has these visions of Padme dying in childbirth and he had a vision of his mom dying, which eventually came true. So he wants to protect Padme, and that's how he gets manipulated with Palpatine and eventually becomes who he becomes, because he's thinking that, okay, I could have this power, and even though it's a dark power, I could use it for good, and it's for selfish reasons, but still it's for the good of protecting my family. So in that sense,
interesting.
I think that's how it may play out in Obi-Wan series. By the way, I just wanted to quickly show the image. I forgot to show the image of there's Anakin there, thinking that he burned up, thinking that he burned up Ben to a crisp when Ben burned him to a crisp in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. Not quite. Ben don't play that. Not quite.
Yeah. Ben that back to tank pretty much saved him. So shout out to the back to tank. Nadia Nicole says, I really want her to be a Sith because how rare is it to have a woman and she plays that hateable but lovable character? Exactly. And I think
I love that.
Fans are mad at that. I think that's why they're hating on her, because they see that slowly maybe being a thing, and that would be completely unprecedented. That'd be the first time we'd ever see that in Star Wars. And it's a Black woman.
Oh, and the game changer scene for me, though, I forgot to mention in episode 4, and you guys let me know, like, so far, it's no telling what's going to happen in these last couple episodes, but the Leia and third sister scene where she's, like, in an interrogation room, like, that whole thing, the way that played out with her, I was like, game changing. Because when do you see, first of all, when do you see women do that? Because it, like, pulls at your heartstrings. You have this little girl here, she's away from home, she's scared. She doesn't know what to do. She's only 10. I think she's around like 10 or 9, somewhere in there. And she's having to make all these adult decisions. She's not at home. She doesn't know what's going on. and you put her in this interrogation situation, and then you have this black woman, like we're already talking about, that has these dynamics, that gets to play, it's a villain-esque role, that gets to flip-flop between these two worlds, and we usually don't get that. And you can even see it in her face sometimes. Like if you look at the third sister's face, like she gets a little teary-eyed at some moments, but she's so down this path that she can't turn back. Like this is who she is. But you see these moments where it's like hard for her to make that decision, because you still have this 9 or 10-year-old girl, and you're trying to interrogate her basically. Like you want answers, and you know the way that the third sister gets answers. So I thought that was like game changing to see that scene happen, between the both of them. And I would love to know, like, behind the scenes how that was. Like if you have to take breaks, then you come back, because I thought it was pretty intense for like a Star. I thought it was pretty intense for something different.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, shout out to Vivian Lynn. Wait, I gotta Google her name again. My goodness,
the name
catching up with all these names. Vivian Lyra Blair. Hopefully I said that right. Vivian Lyra Blair plays little Leia, and shout out to her because she follows us on Instagram.
Hey.
So I don't know. Maybe we could reach out to her and see if we can interview her and ask her those
that
questions.
Would be cool.
That would be.
I would love. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be awesome. She's such a great little actress. So fantastic.
She got me riveted. I'll be on the edge of my seat. I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's gonna happen. And she was playing, like, even for her too, to be that young, she was playing that scene. Like she was handling it just like adults, like when you're being interrogated, and like once they get their answers, they're not really trying to give you what you want, right? They're not really trying to, but it's like at her age to be able to play that game and to know what was going on was so cool to watch. And I think that's one of those scenes, like I don't know, like I haven't checked out social media since I watched it, so maybe you guys are talking about it. But I just feel like that's one of those scenes that people are gonna be talking about. Like that's one of those scenes that go down for this series, because it's so different and so cool. And I'm sure 5 or 6 probably gonna blow it out of the water. We never know. It's probably gonna be something else. But for right now, I thought that was so cool to see that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's go on to episode 4. Episode 4. I brought this photo up because episode 4 was just hilarious to me.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. Yeah.
Episode 4 just showed the full incompetency of stormtroopers. How pointless they are.
So bad. I would never want to be a stormtrooper. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Tala literally bitch slapped a stormtrooper in this episode, and he went down. I'm just like, how does that happen?
Like all this armor, right? For nothing.
All this armor. I mean, it was a good episode, but there was moments where I was just like, this is just comedy to me. Like, this is supposed to be a dramatic, intense, action-filled moment. I get that, but why am I laughing? And I know I'm skipping around a bit.
Like, I would never want to be a story. Like, if I had a cos, like, they are the worst. Like, I'm like, what are they even protecting? I never get it.
I'm like, they're not good. I mean, Captain Phasma to me is like probably the best of the stormtroopers, but like most of them are just incompetent. They just don't. They're so easily defeated.
Yeah.
Even in the last episode 3, when they're like, we're looking for a Jedi, and then he refers to Leia, because I think they go by a fake name Luna,
right?
And then he's like, he calls her Leia, and he's like, wait, you called her Luna? I thought her name was Leia. Like, isn't that enough for you to just like stop the vehicle?
They're like, okay, it's just normal. Let me get off. They are the worst. I'm just telling you, like, the worst. Like, I don't understand why they are security. Like, I never understand it.
So you want to break down a little bit about or editorialize episode 4 for us, Ryan?
So we opened with we talked about this a little bit. We opened up with the badly burned Ben. I'll stop calling Obi-Wan for now until they get to it. They may get to that on the last episode. So he's pretty badly burned. They got him on the side, but he gets, like we said, he gets in the back of the tank. Talia, shout out to her. She is coming through. If not for her, I'm worried about Ben. She's been coming through.
Talia was like basically the saving grace of this episode. Yeah.
And so, she brings them into like her world. You get to meet a little bit of her crew. Roken, I think is played. I forgot Ice Cube's son's name, but he shows
O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah. He makes an appearance. He's pretty cool. Like, as far as like, basically now they need a plan, because Ben is not gonna stay down for long. He's still kind of limping. He can't really stand up all the way, but he's pretty much healed. And he's like, I gotta go find Leia. Like, we can't go down like this. We gotta go find her. So basically, Talia and her team kind of get together. She still has connections to the Inquisitors, to that world, to the Empire world, where she could sneak in and pretend to be like a higher up officer. So it's basically, this episode is like that plan to get Leia back, because like I said, she's dealing with, the third sister found her in the last episode, because Talia went back to help Ben, so there was nobody to protect her there, so she just had to go. And like I said, there's an interrogation scene. There's a scene where Leia is caught up in this like kind of contraption machine, where I think they like, from what I could gather, and they show like Ben in this hall, I think they like free, like if you're not with the, like you're the Force sensitive and you're not with the Empire and stuff, they like free. It looked like they kind of froze the people. Like that's what it looked like to me, where they were like frozen in these little like not tombs, but it was just,
those were tombs. You talking about where where he saw like the different it was basically tombs where there were people.
I don't know if it was tombs or not. Okay, so it was tombs.
Those were tombs.
Okay, yeah.
And there was a character in one of the tombs that was in Clone Wars. I'm trying to remember the character's name. I'll look it up later. But the character helped Ashoka find her lightsaber in Clone Wars. So if you look closely, that character is in the tomb. A nice Easter egg.
That scene was very scary. He was like, and you could see like as he was getting closer and closer, and then you hear Leia like scream out, where he was able to finally figure out where she was. But yeah, that scene was intense to see all those like those tombs and everything. But yeah, so you get that scene, and then you get the Taya and third sister scene where she's trying, like she almost has her. She sells that lie of like, hey, yeah, I was in the section where I saw Obi-Wan, and I saw like their underground network that they got working, and I could tell you where it is and everything. And she's like, but you know how the third sister don't play that. She was like right away, like, yeah, you lying, something up here, something ain't going down. But it wasn't enough time. She bought him a little bit of time though. It wasn't enough time to get like Leia out. Stormtroopers suck. Obi-Wan took them out with like no problem with his like, or Ben.
I just had an issue with the Stormtroopers not recognizing, or any of the Imperial Guard not recognizing Leia in Obi-Wan's trench coat. How did they had the Scooby-Doo disguise going?
Yeah. He was like, and then she even peeps her head out at one point. And he tried to pull the jacket over more, and like nobody noticed. I was like, seriously, right now, is the Stormtrooper really, or whoever, is it really going to be like, is one of those officers really going to be that big? Like, seriously, come on now.
And why didn't, because there was also a moment, again, like this episode just was filled with like, just kind of like a little bit of stupidity. I'm just,
it was. It did have
there was a moment where Obi-Wan takes out a Stormtrooper, and I'm like, why didn't he put on his suit? As a disguise, that would have helped.
I kept thinking that too. Yeah, I kept thinking that. I was like, why is he trying to just run around and like, and they had the droid that was doing a little sense in there. I was like, why don't you just put on the suit so that he can't tell like when you're walking around and everything like that?
Because that's what I thought he was going to do when he took out the Stormtrooper. I'm like, he's going to go ahead and take his suit.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Happen.
I mean, I guess they wanted to have another one of those like kind of cool Force moments where it was like, but then even that was funny because it was like now the Stormtroopers were like caught in the water and they looked like they closed the door and like they were all trapped.
That was a great moment. That was a great moment, and that's yet another moment to demonstrate how his Force sensitivity is building episode by episode. So I actually enjoyed seeing that moment with the glass and all of that. I don't know how he didn't get wet though. I was just like,
oh yeah, I was trying to figure that out.
Fully dry.
That stuff was cracking like crazy, like that glass and everything. I was like, but and then shout out to, even though like, the Stormtroopers didn't do no kind of fights, like wasn't putting up any kind of thing, but I love the lightsaber action as always. It was so cool.
Yes.
Like you see it bounce off and he was like taking outdoors with it. He's taking a droid out with it. It was pretty cool.
Yes. And I just want to read Nadia's comment real quick. Shout out to Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr. for playing the Rebel. Yes, let's expand the Star Wars culture to the LBC Compton universe. I know that's right.
Yeah, that's cool. It was cool to see him. Right. Yeah, he did a great job. Yeah. And he gave his own little story about how the Empire is the worst. So yeah, it was cool to see him in there.
Yeah, and then one of the rebels died. Rest in peace to Wade.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah, poured out for Wade.
Yeah, pour 40 ounce for Wade there. Yeah.
The third sister did not have to do that because she already had trackers and stuff. She didn't have to do it. Wade could have made it back.
So going back to the question about how it ties into A New Hope.
Yeah.
I think it was Nadia that brought that up. So the tracker is something that is referenced in A New Hope by Leia. So yeah, I think Leia, I forgot what exactly it is that she said, the actual phrase that is uttered in A New Hope, but she basically learns her lesson the hard way with this whole tracker situation that we're going to find out through Obi-Wan. And then we see how that plays out in A New Hope. So there is a connection between the tracking devices and Leia in this story, and that ties into A New Hope. So that was something that I had stumbled upon, and I was like, I just love it. I love how they're just, it's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's just like everything's connected.
I love that. I love how they end on that moment. So yeah, we'll see, because and that was another good spin off of that part too, where you see Vader and the third sister again, where obviously he's trying to kill her because he's like, you done messed up, Obi-Wan's away, I don't have any use for you anymore. Homegirl is talking while he's using the dark force to choke her out. She's like, no, I got the tracker on. Like, the whole scene was just crazy to me. Like, she's still trying to talk while he's trying to choke her out and like take her out. And she's like, no, I got a plan. And I'm just like, this is just how she rolls, and I'm just here for it. I can't wait to see like what else happens.
I enjoyed watching the force choke. I was just like, we saw a lot of the force choke happening in episode 3, but him force choking Reva, that was an interesting moment. Yeah, I was scared for Reva. I was like, is this gonna be her?
Right. I was like, okay. Yeah. I was like, yeah, because the fifth brother was over there like,
yeah, the fifth brother was low key smiling. I was like,
yeah, he was ready for it. I was like, he ain't right. He ain't right. But yeah,
because he sees where Reva's on a power trip, and he sees where this is going. So because he said in episode 3 that he's next in line.
Yeah. So he mad, y'all. He mad.
He big mad.
Yeah.
So and what's saving Reva now, which is what we see at the end of episode 4, is that she went ahead and put that tracking device in Leia's android, which is what's going to be following her around, and that's literally what kept Reva alive, that kept her from being killed by Darth Vader, because Darth Vader only has one agenda, and that's to get to Ben. That is it. He just wants Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he will do whatever it takes to get it. If he needs to promote Reva to Grand Inquisitor and be his, next in command or whatever, he'll do it if it means he's going to have Obi-Wan delivered to him on a silver platter. Yeah, that is his motivation. So,
so yeah, this will be interesting. Like, they ended on that note, and it's like, no. So yeah, but it was a cool note to end on.
It was a cool note to end on. So we have 2 more episodes until the series ends. So it'll be really interesting to see where Obi-Wan goes after this. And to wrap up this show, because we're a little over an hour at this point, just wanted to throw out some really cool, fun things that we're excited for. That's obviously coming out. So if you haven't already seen the trailer for Black Adam, go see it. I'm looking forward to seeing this one.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, this Black Adam is a little different in the comics. Black Adam in the comics is a genocidal maniac.
Yeah.
We can't have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
We can't have The Rock going out like this.
Yeah, no. we can't do that. But it'll be great to see Black Adam on the big screen. So that's coming out. Also, the trailer for Nope dropped. It's so refreshing to see movie trailers that still don't give you information or too much information about a movie. And I'm so glad for this, because sometimes it's annoying to see movie trailers that just give you an information dump. And you're like, well, damn. I mean, do I need to see the movie at this point? I know the middle and end.
Yeah, seriously. I feel
So,
like Jordan is the king of that though. Like he's got that master where he can tell, like you feel like he's telling you a lot, but he told you absolutely nothing. And he's always letting you like interpret like what you want to do. And by the way, since I've been in the movie theaters recently to try to see all these movies, every time this preview comes up, somebody in my family goes nope at the end of it, like when it pops up at the end, because the trailer is so like if you guys haven't seen the trailer, it's so crazy. Like they got the woman with like her face is burned and they got like Kiki Palmer running all over the screen and stuff. And it's like, it's crazy stuff that goes on in this trailer. And you're like, yeah, if you're not into scary, you like, yeah, you're like, nope. Yeah, you're like, I don't need to see this one. I'm good. But yeah, it's intense. It's intense.
But I don't know, like Jordan Peele's movies aren't scary to me, even though they
I don't
are
think
in the
so.
horror genre.
I don't think so. And I get scared real easily, y'all. And I can't be doing it. But I can go and watch some of his. Like I've seen the, the Get Out, Us. So I'm like, I get scared easily. So I'm telling y'all, it's usually more just like you trying to figure it out for me. It's like I'm always at the end, like I can't figure it out.
Exactly. It's one of those. That's why I love Jordan Peele's work. It's because there's social commentary going on there. You really have to analyze and figure out what are the Easter eggs that he's alluding to here. And so there's a lot of thinking that's involved, and obviously repeat viewings. At least for me, I have to see his movies more than once to really gauge them, because otherwise I'll just be like, I don't know what happened. I couldn't tell you.
I got nothing. I got nothing. Those reviews are hard. I got nothing.
Yeah. Another show that you can watch on Disney Plus, aside from Obi-Wan Kenobi, is Ms. Marvel.
Yes.
So episode 1 dropped this week, and I'm excited for it. We did a review on Black Girl Nerds. Danielle wrote a review. She didn't really care for it much, but I absolutely loved it.
Me too.
I feel like Ms. Marvel is perfect for like the TikTok generation. Like, even though me personally, I'm a fan of Ms. Marvel. I read some of the comics as well, and absolutely love the universe and the character that lives in it. But I feel like young people are really going to love this show just because of how appealing it is. It's got this cool like animation, kind of almost anime. Like it could be an anime. Like even though it's live action, it plays out like an anime, which is really interesting. From the music, from the pacing, the way the characters kind of interact, and it's so lively and quirky and fun. I absolutely am in love with this show, and I can't wait to see how Kamala's story develops.
Yeah, it gives it that like Raising Dion feel, where it's like that very like a family friendly. It reminds you of like being back, like being in high school, that like so many things that you thought were like high pressure, like you got to pass your driver's license test. All the adults keep saying, what you gonna do with your life? What do you want to, what are you serious about? Where are you gonna go? And she's like, I just want to go to Avengers Con, you guys. Like she just wants to have fun. And it's so cute. It's so cute to see that. And I thought, I'm with Jamie. I thought it was so, and it's like that imagination treat too that Marvel does so well, where you get to see all her thoughts kind of come to life, and that animation, and the effects and everything. It's so cool. And she has her like blog, her YouTube thing going on. It's definitely for so I absolutely loved it. And her and her best friend Bruno, I thought were super cute. Yeah, he was like, he gave her like, you got to keep a guy that gives you like the photon gloves and stuff. You got to keep that person around.
Exactly.
So it was so cute. So you guys definitely go check it out. I'm not sure. I think they're just one episode right now. I'm not sure.
It's one episode. I saw the first 2 episodes, and the second episode's really good. So
okay, cool.
It's got a nice momentum going. And the actress Iman Vellani, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's just got the cutest expressions. I just like her facial expressions.
So
it just looks so cute.
She plays this real. They casted this. I think they cast this very well.
The casting is so great, and I just feel like it's a family that we can all relate to. And again, it's so important that we see these kinds of families represented on television that are rarely represented in a normal kind of way, that unfortunately, a lot of Muslims and Arab Americans are seen in movies as like terrorists and bad guys, and and finally it's just like, okay, normal family living in a suburban neighborhood in New
seriously though.
Jersey, and
Yeah.
so I also like that, just speaking to the representation piece of it all. So yeah, I have nothing but good things to say so far about Ms. Marvel, and I look forward to seeing how Ms. Marvel will tie into the other Marvel shows if they plan on doing those crossovers, which I hope they do.
Yeah, I hope they do. Yeah, I feel like with this new phase, they got a lot of like, we're all still waiting for a lot of these tie-ins. Like, hopefully, I feel like they got a grand master plan that we'll never see coming, but there's going to be a lot of like little tie-ins and stuff they have to work on.
Yeah. Well, we shall see how that all pans out. So I think that pretty much wraps up everything in our show. We talked a lot about Obi-Wan and gave you some information about, some of the adventures that I was up to. And we appreciate all of you guys for tuning in live. And if you didn't get a chance to check us out live, then please feel free to leave your comments in on YouTube. And, of course, subscribe, hit the notification, do your due diligence with that. And then we'll be back next week. Next week should be a good show. I'll keep you posted. I believe we may have a guest. We might
have a little surprise in there for you guys.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted. We'll let you know. But for now, we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.